हेलो हेलो। हेलो बच्चों, जाग जाओ सब कोई, है ना। अपन लोग स्टार्ट करने जा रहे हैं 11th का फर्स्ट चैप्टर। एनसीईआरटी से पढ़ेंगे, बस उतना पढ़ेंगे जितना ज़रूरी है ना। ऐसा नहीं कि सब कुछ पढ़ रहे हैं, सब कुछ पढ़ रहे हैं, कोई मतलब नहीं है ना। चलो तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। लिविंग वर्ल्ड, है ना। देखो इसमें कुछ भी नहीं था, इसलिए मैंने ये पूरा ही हटा दिया। यहाँ देखो, यहाँ पे आपको जानना ये कौन है, अर्नेस्ट मेयर। ठीक है, ये एक बायोलॉजिस्ट हैं हु हैड बीन कॉल्ड द डार्विन ऑफ 20th सेंचुरी। ठीक है, ही pioneered the currently accepted definition of biological species. Okay, Mayer was awarded the three prizes widely regarded as ट्रिपल क्राउन ऑफ बायोलॉजी। ठीक है, इनको मिला था ट्रिपल क्राउन ऑफ बायोलॉजी। ठीक है, अब आगे जो भी इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, आगे बढ़ते हैं हम लोग। देखो मेंबर्स जो हैं वो बहुत सारे मेंबर्स मिलते हैं तो बनाते हैं पॉपुलेशन, और पॉपुलेशन कंबाइन करके बनाते हैं कम्युनिटी। ठीक है, यहाँ इतना ही जानना था। अब अब देखो, व्हाट इज लिविंग, कैरेक्टर्स एग्जिबिटेड बाय लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म क्या क्या है। ग्रोथ, रिप्रोडक्शन, एबिलिटी टू सेंस इन्वायरमेंट, मेटाबॉलिज्म, एबिलिटी टू सेल्फ रेप्लिकेट, सेल्फ ऑर्गेनाइज, इंटरैक्ट एंड इमर्जेंस। अब बोल रहा all living organisms grow. Increase in mass and increase in number of individuals are twin characteristics of growth. A multicellular organism grow by cell division. ठीक है, in plants this growth by cell division occurs continuously throughout their lifespan. ठीक है, in animals this growth is seen only up to certain age. However, cell division occurs in certain tissue to replace lost cell. ठीक है, unicellular organisms grow by cell division. One can easily observe this in vitro culture by simply counting the number of cells under the microscope. देखो मैं जितना भी बोल रहा हूँ, ठीक है, आप ऑडियो के रूप में भी सुन सकते हो। इसमें बस ऐसा नहीं कि इन फिगर 1.1 1.2 ये सब नहीं बोलना है। जो इम्पोर्टेंट है बस उतना ही इस ऑडियो में आपको मिलेगा, है ना। ओके, स्टार्ट करता हैं। Unicellular organisms grow by cell division. One can easily observe this in vitro culture by simply counting the number of cells under the microscope. In majority of higher animals and plants, ये लाइन इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। In majority of higher animals and plants, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive event. One must remember that increase in body mass is considered as growth. देखो बॉडी मास में इंक्रीज जो है ना उसको ग्रोथ बोलते हैं, लेकिन नॉन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स जो है ना वो भी ग्रो करते हैं। लेकिन इन दोनों के ग्रोथ में क्या डिफरेंस है कि जो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स है उनका ग्रोथ फ्रॉम इनसाइड होता है, और नॉन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स का ग्रोथ कैसा होता है, फ्रॉम आउटसाइड। जैसे कि बॉल्डर्स, माउंटेन, कुछ कुछ माउंटेन है जो अभी यंग हैं, जो अभी भी बढ़ रहे हैं, इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि वो लिविंग है ना, वो भी नॉन लिविंग है। ठीक है, in living organisms, growth is from inside. Growth, therefore, cannot be taken as a defining property of living organism. ठीक है, reproduction likewise is a characteristics of living organism. In multicellular organism, reproduction refers to the production of progeny possessing feature more or less similar to those of parents. Invariably and implicitly we refer to sexual reproduction. ठीक है, organism reproduce by asexual means also. Fungi multiply and spread easily due to million of asexual spores they produce. In lower organisms like yeast and hydra we observe budding. ठीक है, in planaria flatworm we observe true regeneration. Example, the fragmented organism regenerates the lost part of its body and become a new organism. The fungi, the filamentous algae, the protonema of mosses all easily multiply by fragmentation. When it comes to unicellular organisms like bacteria, unicellular algae or amoeba, reproduction is synonymous with growth. ठीक है, increase in number of cell। ठीक है, मतलब जो यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं ना उनमें रिप्रोडक्शन और ग्रोथ दोनों एक ही चीज़ है। ठीक है, इन सिंगल सेल्ड ऑर्गेनिज्म वी आर नॉट वेरी क्लियर अबाउट द यूजेज ऑफ दीज टू टर्म्स ग्रोथ एंड रिप्रोडक्शन। फर्दर देयर आर मैनी ऑर्गेनिजम्स विच डू नॉट रिप्रोड्यूस, जैसे कि म्यूल्स, स्टेराइल वर्कर बीज, infertile human couples, etc. Human reproduction also cannot be all inclusive defining character of living organism. Of course, no non-living organism is capable of reproducing or replicating by itself. Another characteristics of life is metabolism. All living organisms are made up of chemicals. These chemicals, small and big, belonging to various class, size, function, etc., are constantly being made and changed into some other biomolecules. These conversions are chemical reaction or metabolic reaction. There are thousands of metabolic reactions occurring simultaneously inside all living organisms, be they unicellular or multicellular. All plants, animals, fungi, and microbes exhibit metabolism. The sum total of all chemical reactions occurring in our body is metabolism. No non living object exhibit metabolism. Metabolic reaction can be demonstrated outside the body in a cell free system. An isolated metabolic reaction outside the body of an organism performed in a test tube is neither living nor non living. Hence, while metabolism is a defining feature of all living organism without exception. मेटाबॉलिज्म क्या है? एक डिफाइनिंग फीचर है लिविंग होने का और इसका कोई भी एक्सेप्शन नहीं है. Isolated metabolic reaction in vitro are not living but surely living reaction. Hence, cellular organization of a body is the defining feature of life forms. Perhaps the most obvious and technically complicated feature of all living organisms is this ability to sense their surrounding or environment and respond to these environmental stimuli, which could be physical, chemical, or biological. We sense our environment through our sense organs. Plants respond to external factors like light, water, temperature, other organisms, pollutants, etc. All organisms, from the prokaryotes to the most complex eukaryotes, can sense and respond to environmental clues. Photoperiod affect reproduction in seasonal breeders, both plants and animals. All organisms handle chemicals entering their body. All organisms therefore are aware of their surrounding. Human beings are the only organism who is aware of himself. Example have self consciousness. यहाँ बोल रहे कि जितने भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स है वो अपने सराउंडिंग से अवेयर हैं, यानी कॉन्शियसनेस उनके अंदर है. लेकिन हम ह्यूमंस ही ऐसे हैं जिनके अंदर सेल्फ कॉन्शियसनेस है. ठीक है. Consciousness therefore become the defining property of living organism. We observe patient lying in coma in hospital virtually supported by machine which replace heart and lungs. The patient is otherwise brain dead. The patient has no self consciousness. तो ऐसे पेशेंट को हम क्या बोलेंगे? लिविंग बोलेंगे या नॉन लिविंग बोलेंगे? ऐसे पेशेंट्स को हम लिविंग बोल सकते हैं और लिविंग ही बोलेंगे, क्योंकि अगर वो जिंदा नहीं भी हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा कि उनका बॉडी जो है वो डिके कर रहा है, यानी बॉडी को हमने छोड़ दिया वो डिके कर रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. उनका बॉडी अभी भी एक्टिव है यानी वो लिविंग है. ठीक है. इसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है कि वो रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, लेकिन उनका बॉडी अभी भी एक्टिव है यानी कि वो लिविंग है. All living phenomena are due to underlying interaction. Properties of tissue are not present in the constituent cell but arise as a result of interaction among the constituent cells. Similarly, properties of cellular organelles are not present in the molecular constituent of organelle but arise as a result of interaction among the molecular constituents comprising the organelle. These interactions result in emergent properties at a higher level of organization. This phenomenon is true in the hierarchy of organizational complexity at all levels. Therefore, we can say that living organisms are self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating interactive systems capable of responding to external stimuli. Biology is the story of life on Earth. Biology is the story of evolution of living organisms on Earth. All living organisms, present, past, and future, are linked to one another by sharing of a common genetic material but to varying degree. नींद तो नहीं आ रही ना किसी को? भाई ध्यान से सुनो और इस ऑडियो को 4 बार 5 बार जब भी आप कहीं फ्री बैठते हो बस कान में ईयरफोन लगाओ और सुनो, बिकॉज वाइट कोट तो चाहिए ना भाई, है ना? ओके, लेट्स गो. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक 1.2 इज डाइवर्सिटी इन द लिविंग वर्ल्ड. ठीक है. डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स और ऑर्गेनिजम्स दैट वी सी represent a species. The number of species that are known and described range from 1.7 to 1.8 million. This refers to biodiversity or the number and types of organisms present on earth. देखो, बहुत सारे ऐसे प्लांट्स हैं, एनिमल्स हैं जिनको हम लोकल नेम से जानते हैं, ठीक है। मतलब एक जगह पे उनका कुछ और नाम है, दूसरी जगह पे उनका कुछ और नाम है। तो इस चीज़ को हम लोग कैसे इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करें? देखो, वही बताया गया है कि लोकल नेम्स वुड वेरी फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस, ठीक है। अ पार्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म इज नोन बाय द सेम नेम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड। दिस प्रोसेस सॉरी अ पार्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म जो है उसको एक ही नाम से जाना जाए पूरे वर्ल्ड में, ठीक है। इसके लिए एक प्रोसेस लाया गया जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं नॉमेनक्लेचर, ठीक है। नॉमेनक्लेचर में क्या होता है, एक ही नाम दिया जाता है जिससे पूरे वर्ल्ड में आप उस जानवर को, उस प्लांट को उसी नाम से जानोगे, ठीक है। इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं नॉमेनक्लेचर। ऑब्वियसली नॉमेनक्लेचर और द नेमिंग इज ओनली पॉसिबल व्हेन द ऑर्गेनिज्म इज डिस्क्राइब्ड करेक्टली एंड वी नो टू व्हाट ऑर्गेनिज्म द नेम इज अटैच्ड टू। दिस इज आइडेंटिफिकेशन, ठीक है। For plants, scientific names are based on agreed principle and criteria which are provided in International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Plants के लिए कौन देते हैं names? International Code of Botanical Nomenclature (ICBN). Animal taxonomists have evolved International Code of Zoological Nomenclature और animals के लिए ICZN (International Code of Zoological Nomenclature). अब नेम देना तो है भाई, एक ही नाम देना है जो पूरी दुनिया में चलेगा, कोई दूसरा उस नाम को काट नहीं सकता है। मतलब लायन को अगर हम एक नाम से जान रहे हैं, ठीक है, पैंथेरा लियो, तो पूरी दुनिया उसको पैंथेरा लियो ही बोलेगी, कोई टिग्रिस नहीं बोल सकता है। तो देखो अब इसको कैसे बनाएंगे, इस नाम को लिखने का क्या रूल होना चाहिए, क्या तरीका होना चाहिए, अब हम वो जानेंगे। Each name has two components, the genetic name and the specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components is called binomial nomenclature. This naming system was given by Carlos Linus. तो कार्लस लिनस साहब थे जिन्होंने बाइनोमियल नोमेनक्लेचर दिया। मतलब भाई दो वर्ड से बनेगा, ठीक है। पहला जो होगा जेनरिक नेम होगा, दूसरा जो होगा स्पेसिफिक एपिथेट होगा, ठीक है। आगे देखते हैं। The name system given by Carlos Linus is being practiced by biologists all over the world. This naming system using a two-word format was found convenient. ठीक है, सबको अच्छा लगा भाई ये। अब देखो कैसे किया। The scientific name of mango, अगर हम मैंगो का एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं तो the scientific name of mango is written as Magnifera indica. In this name, Magnifera represents the genus, while indica is a particular species or a specific epithet. और अदर रूल्स क्या क्या है? पहला, अदर यूनिवर्सल रूल्स ऑफ नॉमेनक्लेचर आर एज फॉलो। फर्स्ट, biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. Okay. Second, the first word in biological name represents the genus while the second component denotes the specific epithet. Third, both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. Next, the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter, while the specific epithet starts with small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Magnifera indica. Next, name of the author appears after the specific epithet. Example, at the end of the biological name and is written in an abbreviated form. Example, Magnifera indica Lin. It indicates that this species was first described by Linus. देखो, पहला तो जेनेटिक नेम होता है, दूसरा स्पेसिफिक एपिथेट होता है, और अगर उसके पीछे भी कुछ लिखा हुआ रहा, जैसे कि मैंगो में हो मैग्नीफेरा इंडिका लिन, तो भाई मैग्नीफेरा तो जेनेटिक, इंडिका स्पेसिफिक, और लास्ट में जो लिन लिखा हुआ है यानी कि उस साइंटिस्ट का नाम है जिन्होंने उसको डिस्कवर किया है, जो नाम दिया है, ठीक है, यानी लिनस। अब क्लासिफिकेशन। क्लासिफिकेशन इज द प्रोसेस बाय विच एनीथिंग इज ग्रुप्ड इनटू कन्वीनियंट कैटेगरीज बेस्ड ऑन सम इजीली ऑब्जर्वेबल कैरेक्टर्स, ठीक है। ठीक है। द साइंटिफिक, देखो अब क्या है, कैट्स हो गए, मैमल्स हो गए, वीट हो गया, राइस हो गया, ठीक है, प्लांट्स, एनिमल्स, ये सब आर कॉन्वेनियंट कैटेगरीज। ये कॉन्वेनियंट कैटेगरी है वी यूज टू स्टडी ऑर्गेनिज्म। द साइंटिफिक टर्म फॉर दीज कैटेगरीज इज टैक्सा। अगर साइंटिफिक टर्म में इन सबको बोले तो हम इनको टैक्सा बोलेंगे। हेयर यू मस्ट रिकॉग्नाइज दैट टैक्सा कैन इंडिकेट कैटेगरीज एट वेरी डिफरेंट लेवल. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat is also a taxa. Similarly, animal, mammal, dogs, all are taxa. But you know that dog is a mammal and mammals are animal. Therefore, animals, mammals and dog represent taxa at different level. ठीक है? Hence, based on characteristics, all living organism can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is called taxonomy. External and internal structure along with the structure of cell development. Process and ecological information of organisms are essential and form the basic of modern taxonomic studies. Hence, characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature are the process that were basic to taxonomy. The earliest classification were based on the use of various organisms. Knowing about different kinds of organisms and their diversities, but also the relationship among them. Okay? This branch of study was referred to as systematics. The word systematics is derived from Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematics was later enlarged to indicate identification, nomenclature, and classification. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. Taxonomic categories. Classification is not a single step process but involve hierarchy of steps in which each step represents a rank or category. Since the category is a part of an overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called the taxonomic category, and all the categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Each category, referred to as a unit of classification, in fact represents a rank and is commonly termed as taxon. Insects represent a group of organisms sharing common feature like three pairs of joint legs. ठीक है? Groups represent category. Category further denotes rank. Each rank or taxon in fact represents a unit of classification. These taxonomic groups, categories, are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. Taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum, or division for plants, and class, order, family, genus, and species. I mean, phylum is for animal and division is for plants. Okay. All organisms, including those in the plant and animal kingdom, have species as the lowest category. Organisms in various categories help in identifying similarities and dissimilarities among the individuals of the same kind of organism as well as of the other kind of organism. Now, 1.3.1 Species. Taxonomic studies consider a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as species. One should be able to distinguish one species from the other closely related species based on the discrete morphological differences. Let us consider Magnifera indica, Solanum tuberosum, that is potato, and Panthera leo, that is lion. All the three names indica, tuberosum, and leo represents the specific epithet, while the first word Magnifera, Solanum, and Panthera are genera and represents another higher level taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called tigris, and Solanum includes species like nigrum and melongana. Human beings belong to species Sapiens, which is grouped in the genus Homo. The scientific name, thus, for human being is written as Homo sapiens. Next, genus. Genus comprises a group of related species which has more characters in common in comparison to species of other genera. We can say that genera are aggregates of closely related species. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but both belong to the genera Solanum, lion Panthera leo, leopard Panthera pardus, and tiger Panthera tigris, with several common features, are all species of genus Panthera. This genus differs from another genus Felis, which include cats. Family. The next category, family, has a group of related genera with still less number of similarities as compared to genus and species. Family are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features of plant species. Among plants, for example, three different genera Solanum, Petunia, and Datura are placed in the family Solanaceae. Among animals, for example, genus Panthera comprising lion, tiger, leopard is put along with genus Felis in the family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe that the features of a cat and a dog, you will find some similarities and some differences as well. They are separated into two different families, Felidae and Canidae, respectively. Order. You have seen earlier that categories like species, genus, and family are based on number of similar characteristics. Generally, order and other higher taxonomic categories are identified based on the aggregates of character. Order, being a higher category, is assemblies of families which exhibit a few similar characteristics. The similar characters are less in number as compared to different genera included in family. Plant families like Convallaceae, Solanaceae are included in the order Polynomials, mainly based on the floral characters. The animal order Carnivora include families like Felidae and Canidae. Class. This category includes related order, for example, order Primata comprising monkey, gorilla, and gibbon is placed in the class Mammalia along with order Carnivora. That includes animals like tiger, cat, and dog. Class Mammalia has other orders also. Next, phylum. Class comprising animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with mammals, constitute the next higher category called phylum. All these based on the common features like presence of notochord and dorsal hollow neural system are included in the phylum Chordata. In case of plants, classes with a few similar characters are assigned to a higher category called division. Kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to the higher category called kingdom. Animalia. In the classification system of animals, the kingdom Plantae, on the other hand, is distinct and comprises all plants from various divisions. Henceforth, we will refer to these two groups as animal and plant kingdom. As we go higher from species to kingdom, the number of common characters goes on decreasing. Lower the taxa, more the characters that the member within the taxon share. Higher the category, greater is the difficulty of determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level. अब हम यहाँ पे एक फ्लो चार्ट है वो देख लेते हैं हम. ओके, ये है किंग. सबसे नीचे है आपका स्पीसीज, फिर जीनस, फिर फैमिली, फिर ऑर्डर, फिर क्लास, फाइलम और डिवीजन, और फिर किंगडम. इसको याद करने का एक ट्रिक है. किंगडम के लिए कीप, फाइलम और डिवीजन के लिए पॉट्स, क्लास के लिए क्लीन, ऑर्डर के लिए और, फैमिली के लिए फैमिली, जीनस के लिए गेट्स और स्पीसीज के लिए सिक. यानी कि कीप पॉट्स क्लीन और फैमिली गेट्स सिक. ठीक है, ऐसे याद कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, फाइलम. ये सब तो हो गया आपका. है ना। अब यहाँ पे जो टेबल है इस पे हम आते हैं। ये टेबल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। इसमें आपको कॉमन नेम, बायोलॉजिकल नेम, जीनस, फैमिली, ऑर्डर, क्लास, फाइलम और डिवीजन याद रखना है। पहला मैन, होमो सेपियंस, जीनस होमो, फैमिली होमिडी, ऑर्डर प्राइमेटा, क्लास मेमेलिया, फाइलम डिवीजन कॉर्डेटा। नेक्स्ट इज हाउस फ्लाई। बायोलॉजिकल नेम क्या है? म्यूस्का डोमेस्टिका, जीनस म्यूस्का, फैमिली म्यूस्केडी, ऑर्डर डिप्थेरा, क्लास इंसेक्टा, फाइलम डिवीजन आर्थ्रोपोडा। नेक्स्ट कॉमन नेम मैंगो। बायोलॉजिकल नेम मैग्निफेरा इंडिका, जीनस मैग्निफेरा, फैमिली एनाकार्डेसी, ऑर्डर सेपिंडल्स, क्लास डाइकोटिलिडन, and phylum division is Angiospermy. Next, common name wheat. Biological name is Triticum aestivum. Genus Triticum. Family Polis. Order Polis. Class Monocotyledon. Phylum division Angiospermy. अब जो इस चैप्टर का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है वो आ रहा है टैक्सोनॉमिक एड्स, ठीक है। अब इनका यूजेस। Taxonomic aids are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general in knowing our bioresources and their diversity. These studies would require collect, classification, and identification of organisms. Identification of organism requires intensive laboratory and field studies. The collection of actual specimens of plants and animal species is essential and is the prime source of taxonomic studies. These are also fundamental to studies and essential for training in systematics. It is used for classification of an organism, and the information gathered is also stored along with the specimens. In some cases, the specimen is preserved for future studies. First, herbarium. Herbarium is storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dry, pressed, and preserved for on seed. Further, these seeds are arranged accordingly to universally accepted system of classification. These specimens, along with their description on herbarium sheet, become a storehouse or repository for future use. The herbarium sheet also carry a label providing information about the date and place of collection, English local and botanical name, family, collector's name, etc. Herbaria also serves as quick referral system in taxonomical studies. Botanical garden. These specialized gardens have collection of living plants for reference. Plant species in these gardens are grown for identification purpose and each plant is labeled indicating its botanical or scientific name and its family. The famous botanical garden are at Kew, England, Indian Botanical Garden, Howrah, India, and National Botanical Research Institute, Lucknow, India. Museum. Biological museums are generally set up in educational institutes such as school and colleges. Museums have collection of preserved plants and animal specimens for study and reference. Specimens are preserved in container or jar in preservative solution. Plant and animal specimens may also be preserved as dry specimen. Insects are preserved in box after collecting, killing, and pinning. Larger animals like birds and mammals are usually stuffed and preserved. Museums often have collection of skeletons of animals too. Zoological parks. There, these are the places where wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care and which enable us to learn about their food habits and behavior. All animals in a zoo are provided as far as possible the conditions similar to their natural habitats. Children love visiting these parks commonly called zoos. देखो ये चैप्टर कंप्लीट होने के बाद इसके सारे क्वेश्चंस दूंगा, है ना। प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन, मॉड्यूल के क्वेश्चन, एनसीईआरटी के क्वेश्चन, सारे क्वेश्चन आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे। तो सबका ऑडियो के जैसा आपको मिलेगा, आप वीडियो भी देखो तो ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा आपको, ठीक है। की Key is another taxonomical aid used for identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. Keys are based on the contrasting characters, generally in a pair called couplet. It represents the choice made between two opposite options. This results in acceptance of one and rejection of the other. Each statement is the key is called lead. Separate taxonomic keys are required for each taxonomic category, such as family, genus, and species. For identification purpose, keys are generally analytical in nature. Flora, manuals, monograph, and catalog are some other means of recording description. They also help in correct identification. Flora contains the actual account of habitat and distribution of plants of given area. These provide the index to the plant species found in a particular area. Manuals are useful in providing information for the identification of names of species found in an area. Monograph contain information on any one taxon. तो ये चैप्टर यहाँ पे खत्म हो गया. अब हम लोग समरी भी देख लेते हैं इसका. ठीक है. Biologists have evolved certain rules and principles for identification, nomenclature, and classification of organisms. The branch of knowledge dealing with these aspects is referred to as taxonomy. The taxonomic studies of various species of plants and animals are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general knowing our bio resources and their diversity. The basics of taxonomy, like identification, naming, and classification of organisms, are universally evolved under international codes. Based on the resemblance and the distinct differences, each organism is identified and assigned a correct scientific or botanical name comprising two words as per the biological system of nomenclature. An organism occupies a place or position in the system of classification. There are many categories, ranks, and are generally referred to as taxonomic categories or taxa. All the categories constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Taxonomists have developed a variety of taxonomic aid to facilitate identification, naming, and classification of organisms. These studies are carried out by actual specimens which are collected from the field and preserved as referrals in the form of herbaria, museum, and in botanical garden and zoological parks. It required a special techniques for collection and preservation of specimens in herbaria and museum. Live specimens, on the other hand, of plant and animal are found in botanical garden or in zoological park. Taxonomists also prepare and disseminate information through manuals and monograph. For further taxonomic studies, taxonomic keys are tools that help in identification based on characteristics. अब आगे आपका एक्सरसाइज है जो आपको खुद से करना है. अगर आप बोलोगे तो मैं एक्सरसाइज, इसका एग्जाम्पलर के क्वेश्चंस, ये सारे भी करवा दूंगा, है ना. इसके लिए आपको पहले बोलना होगा और वाइट कोट अगर चाहिए तो बेटा पढ़ना होगा. ठीक है. थैंक यू.